Hello, beautiful people. It's Cinderella. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video, and this is from the Urbanea channel, and it reads: Jaguar Wright reveals who hunted down Ali Carter. Interesting. We're gonna check this together, and I'll love your thoughts and your contribution at the end of the video. I wanna believe this is just mere speculations, but yeah, we're gonna check it together, and I also love you to drop your comment in the comment below as well regarding your thoughts or what your thoughts are regarding this video at the end of the video. By the way, let's check it out.
Let's see, when Ali Carter came back and, also addressed it.
Jaguar Wright isn't letting up on the industry, y'all, because she just shook the internet again after she revealed the identity of the person who hunted down Ali Carter and tried to take her life. Not too long ago, they tried to take Jaguar and Cat Williams out, and after those two unsuccessful attempts, they're now turning their attention to Ali Carter since she's been making a lot of noise recently. Now, I know most of y'all think Diddy is the one trying to take Ali out, but it's actually not him, and the real identity of the one doing this will shock you. Ali claims she's been hunted down like an animal, stalked, and even attacked in her own house. Ali has been on the industry's neck for a hot minute now, and she's been revealing all the demonic things they've been doing, specifically to children. In fact, just a few days ago, she went on a heated IG live to reveal how some powerful people in the industry, aka Diddy's associates, have allegedly been stealing kids and forcing them to have intercourse with horses and dogs while they record and touch themselves for satisfaction. She also said these poor kids were allegedly hanged in metal chains and satanic rituals would be performed on them. Ali didn't specify where exactly these rituals were happening, but she said she witnessed all these things herself while working in the industry, and most of these kids didn't make it out alive, and the few ones who did definitely didn't come out the same as before.
But right now, I think a lot of people are not ready for someone to tell you that there are 3-4-year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars up children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs raise them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang children upside down in satanic ritual abuse meetings, and they literally hang them, literally by metal prongs. They hang them to get blood dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood. There are situations that I don't think people are ready for. We're not touching the seriousness of trafficking. Like the videos that I've made, the videos that I've started to make, this is not even touching. This is the gist of it, and I think so many people are quick to raise a sign and say adrenochrome, but you don't know what it means, and you don't know why it's such a thing, why it's such a strong thing in trafficking, and what makes it so strong.
Let me just pause here, because with Hollywood itself, crazy things are happening, and it is no joke. That is the reason why anybody who sort of try to reveal the things that happens in Hollywood, they try to label the person as a drug addict or mental whatever, because they don't want you to know the truth, the dark things that happens in Hollywood. That is why lots of them in Hollywood are messed up. It is almost impossible or almost rare to find people who are sane in the entertainment industry. And listen, whether people want to believe that lots of these are just mere speculations or whatever, just remember, even in the movies, there are some acts that you see. Don't you just, yeah, it can be fictional, but there are some people that sort of have a fetish that are crazy. And to them, they think that is real, and they may want to just get off doing that to see how it looks like or what it feels like. Is it, like in Hollywood itself, the world is self-created. That is why they like love the glamour, and they push it towards, because if you see the real people, or if you see them for who they truly are, you're not gonna like them. But with the glamour, well, people can start questioning, like, well, what is left? You have to enjoy. And don't really care about the other dark things or the other things that they're going to tell you to do, because I mean, nobody would know, because they're gonna tell you not to tell people about it, and you're potentially not gonna tell anybody about it, because nobody's gonna believe anybody anyways, or nobody's gonna believe you anyways when you come to share the truth or share what you know or what you saw. They would think you've gone cray cray. But in Hollywood itself, it is a whole new different world. It's crazy, real crazy, messed up.
Why it's such a strong thing in trafficking, and how it, what makes it so strong. What, you know that they're drinking children's blood, but you don't know what they're doing to those children to make their blood strong enough to cause something to flip your system in order to keep you in the fountain of youth. No one believes that because it sounds like an unreal horror Disney movie that someone wrote. You know what I'm saying? It kind of is.
And in case you're wondering whose kids were being used for this mess and why no missing kids have been reported, well, it's because most of them were shipped into the United States from poor third world countries. If y'all remember, one of the charges Diddy was arrested on was human. Most people also think he was making them freak off, but allegedly these bizarre rituals were part of it too. And if you think all that was crazy, wait till you hear the other crazy things Allie has had to see in the industry and what she had to say about it. Not too long ago, she also spilled major tea about how Diddy used to allegedly have these wild freak offs where he brought in underage boys and girls. But get this, y'all, the boys actually had a harder time than the girls because apparently they weren't allowed to eat anything until the freak off was over. The reason they weren't allowed to eat was because Diddy didn't want them throwing up or having to douche while they were getting bent over by his associates. But here's the thing though, y'all. Some of his associates allegedly had a douche fetish, so these associates would handpick a few boys, and these boys would be made to do things that would cause them to have some kind of diarrhea so that they would end up pooing during the freak-offs. And as if that wasn't bad enough, they would make these boys lay in their poo and record it.
Watching an episode called Pig Night, when I went, they tried to feed us, and I remember it because when
Pig
you
night.
have to do
Say what?
orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to like starve yourself, because when you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up.
Really?
If you're doing, or if you are a guy doing it, you will shit everywhere.
Oh boy.
When this happens, your parents will get mad at you, really mad at you. And if that is a fetish for someone, they use that to their advantage. So if you throw up on someone, you will have to eat it. If you on someone, you will have to lay in it. Celebrities that are a constant visit.
Unfortunately for Allie, the industry has been watching her closely, and they don't like how she's been exposing them. So they've been hunting her down like an animal these past few weeks to take her life, and now she wants everyone to know that. So if she winds up dead one of these days, we know exactly who did it to her and why they.
Apart from knowing who exactly did it to her or whatever, see, in Hollywood there are some fetish they do, or some of the celebrities do, allegedly, right? That if you ever get to hear some crazy things, you would never look at those celebrities the exact same way again. And listen, it is not just one person, and one person alone is not the one doing it. Lots of them are. Lots of them are. And lots of fetish. In fact, watch some dark, deep movies talking about that. Sometimes they may just make it like seem like it is fun or entertaining or whatever. It is not. Sometimes they may just be telling you, because I mean, you know how Hollywood, when they do their things, they just push some things to your faces and act like, oh no, it's not like they are into this, but they just, which they truly are, but they just don't want to come out to tell you that they are into this or whatever. It is sick. It is sickening. And oh Jesus Christ, throw up and somebody eats somebody's throat. Are you somebody eats someone else's vomit or pure? Oh Jesus Christ, that is crazy.
Did it. She also recently did an IG live to reveal how the industry almost took her life with poison. She showed us a video of what her home looked like after some of the goons broke into it. Luckily for her, she wasn't home when they came there, so they weren't able to attack her. However, they definitely left a mess for her to know they were there. She said she's more scared for the people in her life because they didn't sign up for this, and that their life is in danger just as much as hers. She even went as far as name dropping some of the people who she believed were behind the attack, and according to her, these people leaked her address and paid goons to come after her.
You get pressured, attacked, stalked, and hunted down for your own information.
you get you get abused and re-victimized again by people who wanted to argue it back and forth this week like that fucking mattered. Okay, you had Stu Peters and Timothy Charles Homestead going back and forth, and nobody has even bothered. Not that I give a damn, and not that I understand that you guys are going to be that selfish, but nobody has bothered to apologize for all the hell that has happened. But you guys were arguing back and forth, and in that meantime, we lost our home. You don't believe me? Here you go. What once was a full house, we were still paying rent on our house. What we were doing this whole time was moving everything because our house is gone. Our house is gone. This is the speaking out. What was our beautiful 3-bedroom acre home on 21225 Standing Rock Avenue, because everybody has the address, because organizations that were attached to Marks, Sawyer, and many other organizations decided to put out the address, my license plate to one of my cars, and many other. So here you go. You can have it, right? Because this is what happens when you speak out. This is what happens when you tell all the truth. This is what happens when you decided to stand up for the children, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to do a seminar, and when you understand that survivors don't just get to just be and then show up somewhere and talk and monetize everything that they're saying. When you realize that that's bullshit, then you will understand. Look at the tactics and pay attention. Pay attention. I'm still not asking you for a damn thing but to wake up. I'm not asking you for a damn thing but just to get outside. I don't give a damn about money, numbers on my platforms. You can have all of it. You took everything. The only thing that I give a shit about right now is the fact that there is a baby in the way. There's babies in the way. There are people that I love that I can't get out of the way. What am I supposed to do when the people in the authority that you're supposed to go to, you can't go to them?
Once Allie spilled all this tea, the first person people brought up was Jaguar Wright, because just like Allie, she has also been exposing the industry. And just like Allie, she was also hunted down like an animal and almost lost her life just for speaking the truth. Fortunately, they didn't get her, but they still pulled some strings to silence her, like getting her arrested. Yeah, you heard that right. Last year, they arrested Jaguar and kept her in jail for days because she failed to return a U-Haul truck that she rented. Now, I don't know about y'all, but everyone knows at least one person who failed to return a U-Haul truck, and they definitely didn't get arrested for it, let alone kept in prison for days. This was clearly a warning from the elites to get Jaguar to stop talking, but baby, that didn't stop her from continuing to spill the tea.
You know, every time I've been arrested for something that I didn't do, and yet nobody said, but did he get arrested finally and get the book ready to be thrown at his very, very, very dance? Y'all watch me get arrested there just for bringing Gene Deal to town.
Jaguar specifically recalled the time when several armed men broke into Cat's house while he was sleeping to unalive him. It's still uncertain exactly how Cat escaped the situation, but according to Jaguar, Cat was so scared and traumatized that he used to wear Kevlar to sleep every night. Now, for those of you who don't know what Kevlar is, it's a form of bulletproof vest. Can y'all imagine how scared someone has to be for them to wear a whole bulletproof vest to sleep every single night? That's insane. Apart from him having to look over his shoulder 24/7, that will almost take a massive toll on his mental health.
And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. You know, back in that moment, Cat was still wearing Kevlar to bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on.
But you know, there's something I also want to say is sometimes I think that lots of these people, they are opening up to the wrong people, even though they want to spill or they want to share things that are happening. And I also think that sometimes they may just be talking too much, and it gets to a point where people think like, okay, this is too much. And I just think that there are some things or some details that should have been kept private. Now, talk about this, saying that okay, Cat Williams had to sleep with a cavalier. People really don't need to know that, because now, if that is supposed to be true and he is being haunted or people are after him, they most likely would already have an idea that okay, this is it or whatever. And you're also putting him at risk by spilling or telling his business or telling things that he doesn't want his enemies to know. Sometimes you just give your enemy some things to know about you. And I think that sometimes lots of these people talk too much, and I just wish that some details or some things they will just keep or record somewhere to keep it as evidence, rather than just, because listen, the internet is not your friend. Anybody who thinks that the internet is their friend is making a huge mistake. The internet is not your friend. And you know why I say that? Because sometimes some people be like, oh well, they really care, But when it is really happening in real life, those internet people, they will not be there. It's just the sad reality of things. But let me know what your thoughts are regarding it though.
in bed.
Jaguar actually did an interview recently and she didn't hold back from blasting everyone for
And I left. You know, back in that moment, Cat was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on. In bed.
Jaguar actually did an interview recently and she didn't hold back from blasting everyone for ignoring Ali when she tried to warn us about what was going on in the industry.
When Ali Carter came back and, also addressed it. On a good face, I tried to say all the right things. I tried not to compromise everybody. I tried. And guess what?
At what moment did it not work? Like, were you like, man?
Sitting with my son's corpse.
He lost his son.
For what was the question that loomed about my mind? For what?
Jack, can I ask you, when we see you working with the Roots, you got a Coca-Cola commercial, your album's coming out, you're on Song Cry with Jay-Z for the MTV Unplugged.
I was on the whole show.
Yeah, at what point
Thank God, Mary sucks.
where did the train stop? Like, at what moment did you feel like either you removed yourself or
The
you were
second that I decided I had to walk away, because I knew if I stayed, I was going to either be unalived or have to unalive. I sat on Pierce Morgan and I said, he's going to start little fires everywhere and force everyone else to carry water while he walks away with no response. Isn't that what we've seen happen ever since I did Pierce Morgan?
So as y'all can see, Ali isn't the first to get hunted down by the people she's exposing. This is something they do to everyone who tries to speak on the nasty things they do. But one thing about Jaguar and Ali are they're never gonna stop talking. As usual, people have their own thoughts, like this person who said, Ali Carter has been talking. She is just now being recognized by big creators. Need to do a little research. She don't make money. Truth doesn't cost anything. Another person said, Ali is not fake. She doesn't ask supporters for a dime and she always turns the attention back around to the children going through this ritual abuse. So you gotta find another way to try and discredit her. And she has big receipts. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Ali almost losing her life to all this? And do y'all think she's going to continue escaping the attempts to take her out? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.
Okay, here is what I think, right? I think that sometimes, yeah, what they are doing, revealing, exposing, and talking about these things makes total sense, right? But I think that for their safety, there are some details or some things that they shouldn't also share on the internet, right? Because the internet, like I said, is not your friend, obviously. And Hollywood itself has some really deep, dark things that happens or goes on in the industry. And if we're being honest, if you really know what goes on in the industry, your favorite, you would stop supporting them. And for people who use some of them as role models, you would never use them as a role model ever again. And you're gonna look at the celebrities like, okay, okay, okay. Now you want to keep your distance. And that is just the truth, because some interesting things, I mean, they practically also share or reveal this in their music videos as well, even in the movies. I mean, it is right there. And sometimes when they talk, people just label them to be mentally unwell or doing drugs and whatnot, which does not make sense. Because remember, why do you think every goddamn body that comes to expose or talk about Hollywood is being labeled to be doing drugs or mental illness or whatever? Why is that? Why? Ask yourself the question. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Obviously, there were no names mentioned, but again, talk about Hollywood itself. It is not an interesting place to be in, because they use the glamour to hide the craziness that goes on in Hollywood. But I would love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.